is me, it's the one and all Paul Friends, welcoming you to Starfleet Universe on call. And tonight, well, just Barry and maybe some people in the chat room on the Twitch stream because of I starting late, and I apologize for starting as late as I am. So hopefully people were willing to wait for me and not just give up and go, he's not going to have a podcast tonight. Well, got one. Hey, Chris. And, of course, we have Barry. How you doing, Barry?
Hello there. Hey.
Hey. Yep. I wanted to talk about the second generation extra rules, that the updates you did, but I forgot to look at them before the podcast. So. Yeah.
That's okay.
As I said, I ran out of time, as we chatted earlier.
Yeah, that's okay, because I'm kind of sleepy, so I'm probably not going to hang around too long.
Okay.
So the fact that you said that was good, because I may not have that much time. Another early morning wake up.
How early?
Not that early. Only 5:30.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I'll still beat you.
For me, that's late.
Is that 5:30 Eastern
What's
time?
That?
Is that 5:30 Eastern time or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia.
Okay. There it is. Boom. Okay. So bring something.
Next week is also going to be an early Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance of you changing these podcasts to, say, even a half hour earlier?
There's a possibility of that.
Hello?
I will have to contemplate it. But that is possible. I definitely won't change the date. I could possibly change it to start at half an hour earlier, though. Of course, all y'all and Twitch would have to know about that. And I definitely would. It's one of the things that I would, if I do it, I'd probably start in the new year. I think it'd be probably the best time to switch any times.
Yeah.
Give people enough heads up and so forth.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, but I'll think about it, and next week I'll tell everyone whether I decide that I can change it to be half an hour earlier. Because actually, at one point I actually did start it at 9:00. But when I started at 9:00, that's when I also would record the news portion live and in person. So,
right.
Actually, I get started at 9:00. I actually start recording it at like quarter after, 20 after. The idea was that I could go from there and go right into the live portion, or just do a little minor slice and dice. No, Chris. Actually, I'm going to be talking about. That's what we're going to do instead. We're going to be talking about part 2 of my game that I finished up this past weekend. No.
We talked a few days ago about that.
Yes, it was not this past weekend, the weekend before this past weekend, because I contacted Andrew about playing on Wednesday last Tuesday, and we said, okay, we'll do Wednesday 7:00, basically December 1st, and he did not show. Because I'm not sure what happened. I don't remember if he actually sent me an explanation of why he didn't show. I think he just told me, like, okay, can we reschedule for Saturday, and we'll play Saturday. We'll check to see what time it is. And I definitely will post it, Chris, for you and Iggy and anyone else who wants to watch the game being played. Close game. Cowboys versus Saints. So I will start there. Don't mind me if I do this. Playback. I'm going to crank it. Okay. I'm not sure how much this the video I'm going to share with people, because I did not. Unlike some people who've been played and really they're really the almost considered them professional tournament players. To this degree, in that while they're playing the game, they record notes. I don't. I don't at all. If I want to review the game, I have to go back to in this case, the tape, because I actually record video. The other one is I actually have to look at the log file that's generated for the game, because each game actually records a log of the whole game. It can anyway,
right.
And so I'll look at the log file and I can then review that and go through it. Actually, I was was it not last week? It was the week before last week, because last week I didn't have a podcast. And that is that I was recording. I was writing down notes. I was going through the log file and trying to write a quick summary for people. And boy, talk about taking a lot of time. It was taking a heck of a lot of time to record those notes. I think I only got to like turn 3, and we had gotten to like turn 5. So it was going to take me quite a few hours of writing up notes and so forth. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to. I don't know how long this game is. This part, because there's 2 parts. The 2-part recording, because took 2 days, so it took 2 parts. Duh. So, but I'm gonna be playing. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna be. Yeah, this is where it's turn 6. Let me just look at this for a moment. Yeah. Turn 6, I was actually, what was I doing? Don't mind me. Oh, okay. Actually, let me do this. Back up for a moment, guys. And there. Let me just.
Hey, I'm falling asleep here. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna fall in. Right. Sorry to bail on you so quick.
No problem. You have a good night.
Yep. Good night.
Good night. Okay. Hi. I apologize for that. I pressed the wrong buttons. So I cut off the stream in the middle of it, and I completely apologize for that. But okay, let's fix what let's press the button I meant to press, so people can see this. This is at the beginning of turn, end of turn 5, beginning of turn 6. This is I gotta think about this. Oh, okay. Geez, I have to remember. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Now I remember this one. Okay. Turn 5, if I recall correctly, basically turn 5, I had come in. I don't see them. That's weird. No, I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah, I feel pretty confident about saying this, which is turn 5. I came around here. He basically launched the wild wheels going this way, speed 4. I went around. I was trying to get to a down shield. Never got around to a down shield because shield number 1 here and shield number 4 are basically one box shields at this moment in time. So that's when I realized, I'm being a complete and utter moron when it comes to this. Because basically I basically had him cornered. That's why I figured that he was probably going to, be honest, I kind of felt like he was going to tack. And that's exactly what he did. Actually, is this the one? No, I think this might have been leading up to it. I think turn 6 is where I have to run into this a little bit faster. Just because of, this is where I had my one leak point. It's just, I decided to stick with the speed. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I decided to stay there. Yeah, which was a 28, 21, 28 speed plot. And so actually, I think this is the one where I actually came around. Yeah, this was after Just stop just for a moment. Which is turn 5 is when I got hit by his plasma R, which was down here. And then I came up and around, and he was still coming towards me. And this is when it's like I figured that at this point he's going to stop, and that's exactly what he did. On turn 6, energy allocations, and then continue on. Okay, I announced mine. I'm 28. He's speed 0, and him the call. And this is where I did something what I think was, I realized now that it was, to the most part, it was dumb. Though I think it turned out very, very well. It would have turned out a little different if I would have. See, I'm coming in here, and what I'm hoping to do at this moment in time is, I know what he's planning on doing here, which is, I don't think he does anything with this at the moment. But what? No, he launched a plasma torpedo at me. And this is when, he did this. And right about, right, I think right, this is when I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at my right here. I'm looking at my amount of energy in my PA panels, which is not that much at this moment in time, because when I come around here on turn 4, and I think turn 4, or no, turn 5, I actually was able to dump my panels. Yeah, I'm gonna fire a couple of phasers. I think it's the right side phasers. Yeah, at the plasma R, which is right off my shield number 2. And at the same point, what he does is he launches the Wild Weasel, because at this point, now he's got a +2 shift. His plasma is self-seeking, so it can still go flying towards me. And unfortunately, the way he's got it set up, he's right off my shield number 2. But if I go straight in on him, if I go straight down, that means the plasma is going to hit my rear panels versus my front panels. I forget. Yeah, this is where I'm thinking about what do I want to do, and I decide to side slip out, and I forget. Yeah, he side slips in, and I think this is when I actually fire my weapons because I changed my mind about announcing the fire of weapons because of he launched the Wild Weasel the previous impulse. Just let you know, I got this going 4-speed. Just want to see if let's boost up here. Skip. This when I found out that he launched a fake torpedo at me, this was the last fake torpedo at me. So at this point, he's actually got a few torpedoes left still. This is when I do a lot of the reason why I'm slowing down here. Well, actually, this was the speed plot. But what I was thinking about was, do I think I can get around to his down shield? And I think I can time it so that we can use up his one impulse tack and have so I can get it there before he can do the second warp tack and that never worked out. So I just kept on going around. So I go here and then he does an impulse tack. So I just keep on going around. I don't fire because he's got the +2 to shift on me. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. So I keep on just going around. At this moment, this is still a Wild Weasel. This is impulse 22 of turn 6 for those just listening in. So right now I'm almost completely in the corner. Don't mind me. For those watching the video, you just watch me put down my cat. So he does another warp tack. So he's doing its best to keep that down shield away from me. And I let him basically go around tacking, not firing a single weapon at this Wild Weasel, because I figured this way, he's not going to fire at me while his Wild Weasel is still active. Because he has to fire, he has to activate his fire control and then wait 4 impulses for his fire control to come up, and then he can fire. Otherwise, he can fire without active fire control, but you're basically your distances are doubled. And for those watching, you can see that I've gotten up here and I've kind of at this point I realized that I'm not gonna make it. So what I plan on doing on turn 7 is actually come around again. So round and round we go. If I fire, heck if he knows. I'm not sure what Georgie had a question I did not actually ask him. And if you notice here, I used the Dizzy Div on turn 2 I'm on turn 6. I've yet to use the Disney Dev again. I've fully charged it as of the end of turn 4. Turn 5, I never used it. Turn 6, I never used it. Of course, I've not fired my my TR beams either. And he repairs one box on his shield number 4. This is where I do my panel management to get rid of energy from my rear panels. Able to remove 10% from the panels and then dissipate 1 per box. So this is the ugly things at the moment. I split it because currently, okay, when it comes the thing I changed when it comes to the panel reporting is that instead of having it so it reports the front, it goes front panels before after, rear panels front and after, before and after. I decided that I think that's kind of dumb. It doesn't give you a full picture. It makes it much harder to actually examine what happened in the panels. So what I did is I grouped them. I said, okay, here's a before shot of the panels. Here's an after shot of the panels. So it gives people an idea of the change in status. Now, the one thing that I don't think I've got yet, which is when I change the status of the panel from on to off. I don't actually show the change of status from on to off as part of that, which I probably should. But anyway, get back to this. I'm just starting with a new turn. Turn 7. And I'm pretty sure I stick with the same speed plot too, which is 28, 21, 28. See, here was my issue on turn 3. Turn 3, I was really, really low on batteries. Can I go back there just a moment? Pause. Yeah. See, back here, 6.67. Now, I discharged 6.67. I recharged 4. Right. And then what happened is on turn 3, that's when I did some of the panel things to boost up I got 17 points of power added in to my batteries over the turn. So I was able to take that, and then if you notice the phaser capacitor, I added 6. So I was able to recharge the batteries, then use the batteries to recharge my phaser capacitors, and then again recharge my battery again. This is what an Andromedan player is doing, and he's constantly worried because at the beginning of this turn, I had like, given that I'm using 4 points of power, I think that means at the beginning of the turn I had around 3 points. I didn't have enough for anything but bringing my panels back up to reinforced levels. At that point, gone. Yeah, because see 9. That's 3 and 6. So. Onward. Forget what. All right. Okay, so I did a flat 21-28 split. And the reason why I did that 21 to 28 split was because I needed the turn radius is what I needed at that moment in time. So, okay, we start turn 7. He avoids the weasel by impulse 5. So I went, okay, fine. Because what he wants to do, he wants to fire. And what, okay. I was looking here. Oh, I was looking at wild weasels. What I was looking for was if you can actually do what he did, which is he transported a pilot onto this wild weasel after his fire control was up. So I needed to see that. He basically dropped the shield and raised it back up. Now he launched Plasma B. So it's coming right at me. So I come right in. He warp tacks. Big surprise. So I forget what I do here. Again, nothing for me here. Right, he fires a couple phaser 1s at me. Does okay, rolling a 4 is not bad. So he does 6 points. Apply that. Okay, that's why I saw that. Okay. And this is when I fire. Okay, yeah. Zero, that's one. Did the wild weasel stop, and it doesn't. It just keeps moving. Wild weasel keeps moving after they're voided. And I saw it down here. Down here is where it mentions that voided any action. Where is it? But basically, okay, let me just fast forward here. Because right side slips. This is where I was thinking about what I want to do. I used my reserve power and I added 4 points into the phasers. Back here. Right. This is when I fire at it. The 6 points damage, so it's -8. So it hits me for 12. Now I used 4 points of battery for it. He hits me with real? Yeah, he hits me. It's real. Again, hit front panels. And now he goes under weasel again. Now, see, the great thing about this is that he's using up his shuttles, and I'm not doing anything. He only keeps this up for so long. Okay. I don't want to do. Okay. This is where I'm. Okay. Okay, he does attack. Then this is where. Okay. Right here. Range 2. I decide. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm done. Done. I'm tired of this crap. I'm not going to be able to fire on him without his wild weasels, without killing the wild weasels first, and I have no reason to kill him. Why waste the firepower on killing the weasels? In my mind, it was just a way. It would be a waste of firepower because I'd have to fire 2 phaser 2s to kill him. And at that point, it frees him up to do whatever he wants to. So I went, no. I think it was best if I'll take the +2 shift on my TRs, especially my TRs at range 0 to 3. +2, yeah, it hurts if I roll poorly, but I'll roll decently well, decent. It won't be that bad because these are TR heavies. And I need the TR heavies to see. Here's the one good thing about this ship, which is because it has the TR heavies. What that means is that you can actually use your TRs for offensive. You can use your phasers for defensive, especially in this mode. And you can still you have a chance of doing internals. You have a chance. It's not guaranteed. It's a chance. Because in this case, especially in this case, I'm rolling against a +2 shift. That means if I'm lucky, I mean really lucky, I roll 2 1s. If I roll 2 1s, I actually can get 40 points of damage. If I don't roll 2 1s, I cannot. There's no way I can get 40 points of damage. There's no way if I can roll, I have to roll at the very least. I think a 3 or I have to roll a 3 or better, 1, 2, or 3. I have 50% chance of actually downing the shield. Not 50, I have less than 50. I have less than a 50% chance of downing a shield, but I have a chance. At the very least, I can damage the shield to a decent degree. So I take the chance. Okay, let's go with that. So then I roll a 2, and I do 27 points of damage against shield number 3. So his shield number 3 is practically down. It's down, or can be. Depends upon how much reinforcement he puts to shield number 3. But so because this is rolling a 3 and a 5, so I didn't roll well. So that's a 12 and a 15. So, not awful, but not great. So that was good. It's like, okay, good. That's almost a down shield. So basically it makes it as weak as the shield number 1 and number 4. So okay. At this point, it's like, okay, do that. He thinks, he said, okay, is he going to reinforce? I don't think he does. He does not. So he has a remaining shield, and then he does an impulse attack to no attack. Okay, yeah, because he didn't attack. He did not attack because he realized that I'm just running away, and he's still under Weasel. So at this point, I can fire my phasers at him, but I have no reason to. Now, if he does something like avoid his Weasel, then I have a chance. It's looking here because of, in theory, what I can do is I can see if I can drop my front panels, drain out the energy, put it in my back panels, but that's when I have to think about, okay, how much damage can he do to me and can he get internals? And this is when I start thinking about the Plasma R. Because actually this is turn 7. So by turn 7, he can have his Plasma R all ready and rocking to go. So I was like, and then since he avoided his Weasel, I was able to do 6 points of damage on shield number 3. So at this point, he actually reinforced it, so he's down to one box. Shield number 2. And I've been saying shield number 3. I mean shield number 2. I apologize, but I got it down to he's now got 3 1-box shields 1, 2, and 4. So that makes it a heck of a lot harder to avoid me getting on a very weak shield. And at that point, I go, it's time to run away. And he fires. He rolls 2 5s at range 5. Yeah, range 5. So he does 6 points. Does that on my rear panels. Okay, fine. And then I was looking to see where it's plasma Fs. Because right now, at this point, he's got 1 plasma F and a plasma R, possibly. And I had to recharge them. And right at the end of the turn, recharging them again. So then, later on, well, actually, so I can. Okay, so I could actually drop my front panels, and when I drop my front panels, at that point, it'll fill this up, and then I'll have some. Yeah, I had to redo it. I did a reset because I didn't remember it correctly. So 5 to the rear, 10 to the batteries. Again, this is why you're constantly thinking about this. And I see at this point, if he wanted to, if he fired at me, fine, fire at me. I'll raise my rear panels from standard to reinforced levels, and I can absorb up to 16 points of damage. Okay. We don't do anything, and then we do. We have Joshua shows up, doing all my panel stuff, which is just removing the energy from the panels. I got 16, so I can do 2 points of energy, so I can to the batteries, and then 4 to dissipate it from the rear. So I'm right now I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I don't have anything in my front panels. I do have my degradation. I'm not saying that I don't. Okay. Let's see if I can go back just a little bit. Go back just a little bit. So, because that flew by pretty fast. Back up. Okay. And then at the end of the turn, I charge 4 to get 2 into the bag. Right? Okay. I want to back up just a tiny bit there. Right there. Okay. Took me a moment there. Sorry. Which is, I've got 15 degradation on my front panels. I got 8 degradation in my rear panels. My front panels are clear. So even with 15 points of degradation, that means I can still take 45 points of damage to my front panels. Now, my rear panels, after the whole panel stuff at the end of the turn, I've got 8 degradation. I got 10 points of power. So that's a total of 18 from 40. I got 20, so I can take 22. Yes, and drums do more math. And you can see here, for those watching the video, you can see that the Clinging Eagle has down shield. He's got 2 phaser 3s in the rear are dead, 1 center hull. He's repaired at that point a left warp as an AWR. He's repaired a center hull. I'm not exactly sure why he repaired a center hull, to be totally honest. Probably to protect his batteries is what I'm thinking. And I can see why he would do that. and then he's got one phaser 3 repaired. So he's got 3 repairs done. Done. And I haven't used a single repair. So just keep that in mind for later on in the game. Okay, now we're getting on to Impulse 8. Impulse 8 is basically me running away. That was the only thing I was doing the whole turn. So I do a, what was it? Yeah, I think it was 28, 21, 20 is what I was doing. So I was trying to save just a little bit of energy. This is kind of wacky here, which is you have 2. I set it up so I have 2 impulses in a row, which I don't move. Where I figured is I can, because he's stuck. He's still range. He's speed 0, so his max speed is speed 10. So if I just get a good range, I can run away. And if I really am desperate, I still haven't used my Dizzy Dev since turn 2. So I can displace away if I need to. And if you notice, for the rest of the game, I don't use a displacement device at all, which is great because I don't have to worry about having to use my warp power for it. No, okay. Here, yeah, okay. So he starts at speed 8. I start at speed 28 on turn 8. Now all I'm doing is I'm going straight out. Is what I'm doing, and then he follows me. Big surprise. I keep on going, and then what I do is I turn up around impulse. Around mid-turn, I turn from going towards, up and to the left, and I'm going direction B. I turn to direction A, and then at the by the very end of the turn, I keep on doing that, and then at impulse 24, I turn to direction F. So I'm getting my butt turned around. The idea is to face him coming straight in. I want the idea here is to have it so that I am 1 hex off his center line. Because I want to be 1 hex off it in the hope, desperate hope, but it's a hope that I might be able to get a plasma torpedo, in this case an F torpedo, to hit the rear panels, and so that basically my front panels are still good. Now, if I figured if he launches his plasma R at me, I can jump over that sucker because I got my Dizzy Dev, and even that's going to be problematic. It's a roll the dice and pray that the Dizzy Dev works. And this is when I decide at the end of the turn here. This is impulse 31. I actually have turned around. I'm now facing him, and this is range 15. So I still got plenty of time to prepare for the great approach on turn 9, and turn 9 is the last turn. And I side slip, and I'm center line right now to him. He side slip, I side slip, so if I keep up my speed, I should be able to overall get where I want to be, which is 1 hex off center line. Because I'm not worried about getting my own weapon center line, because my main weapons are TRHs. They're front half, which are I love that about the TRHs, that they're like that. As you notice, okay, second turn arming, and geez, I forgot why I put my speed plot for turn 9. Oh, I did that again, didn't I? I did a 28, 21, 20. A little different though. because that's the one thing. You don't always have to go. You don't always have to fly as fast as possible, because in some cases, like in the case where I was coming in here, I'm coming towards the center. Why fly fast when that just means you're coming closer to the corner? You're approaching the corner a lot faster than you really want to be. Okay, I'm gonna speed things up a little here. Overall, okay. I'm going to start speed 28. He starts speed 7. So we come in. I get where I want to be, which is range 10, and at range 10 I'm on 1 hex off his center line, and this is we're coming straight in. So center line to his second to shield number 2 side. So if we went straight, both of us, we'd be going right off our shield number 2. Then he launches his plasma, 20-point plasma, his C plasma. I double checked on the plasma B. So the plasma B rack, torpedo tube, got used on turn 7. So I'm good for that. He's not going to use it. He can't do a fast load, so I don't have to worry about this turn for that one. So this is when I was hoping, beyond all hope, that he would mess up and not side slip his plasmas early enough so that I would be forced to run into him, because I wanted to have it so that he basically he got into my rear panels is what I'm hoping, without me turning. Which can happen if you don't do it correct. Now this is where we're approaching. Yeah, just double check speed 28. I think that's why I changed my speed. Yep. Yeah, I changes to my speed plot, go from 28, 21, 20 to 28, 30, 20, 120. There's impulse 8, so it goes to speed 30 all the way until impulse 16, and then it will slow down. And see, he side slips, so we're now in center line. In which case, okay, I need to knock this down some. Period. So all right, I fired 2 phaser 2s at it, range 1, and he fires 2 phaser 1s at me at range 5. So he does 5 points of damage to me. And how many? Give me a sec here. 2 P2s, and I roll, so I should get 10 points of damage against the plasma. So the plasma is going to be -5, which means speed. I'm just looking at the impulse. Yeah. So he's going to hit me for 15. The plasma going to hit me for 15. So it does. And right, okay. For those not watching, the King Eagle at this moment in time, range 5. He's now turned to range 4. He turned into me. So his shield number 6 is now facing me. So now he's still going really slow. He's going speed 7. So I'll go, fine. He's going to turn into me. That's great. Because at this moment in time, we're at the very reaches of the FA arc of the King Eagle. So what do? What an insane person would do. I side slip because I just moved forward the impulse before. I side slip to my to my right. So I'm now, I'll let this go. And you'll see me actually side slip to the right here. Now it's also checking when he moves. Because when I was planning on, and I do it, I was checking to see his speed. If he does a speed 8, what happens? Because he can still do a mid-turn speed change. What happens if he does a mid-turn speed change? Well, how will that mess me up? Can I still do what I want to do? So I wanted to side slip out. The whole idea here is taking advantage of that FH arc again. I.e., get on that shield line. If I can get on the shield line, I can get on the down shield. So what I'm planning on doing is basically just side step here, bump, 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 pump, pump, and then get it so that I can get right off this shield line here. Or if I have, I think, yeah. Okay, we continue forward. I move, I go straight ahead because I have to, because I just side slipped. This one is like, okay, when's the next move? I side slip up. So right now I'm off his shield number 5. I passed by that, and right now I'm directly off shield number 5, range 2, shield number 5. This is when things get interesting. Okay. And he's thinking. Da-da-da-da. And this is, I think, this next impulse. He doesn't. I think he goes, okay. Come on. I'm not going to speed this up because I'm afraid I'm gonna miss what happens. Because I know what happens at this moment in time when she does something which I never, ever expected to do in all of the flying. I am going, right? Yeah, I'm going. It takes a while to think because he's. Yeah, oh yeah, take your time, no problem. So don't mind me. People, just have a little patience. There it is. Okay, we have a little announcement. Does he do anything? I forget if he fires or not. It's possible he fires. Because here's the one thing. He's got quite a few phaser 3s. Now, he doesn't have as many phaser 3s as he had previously. And this is one thing I totally forgot about. The 2 of the phaser 3s are gone at this moment. Okay, so he launches the shuttle. Oh, yeah, this is what it's it. Yeah, he launched a shuttle in my direction. Now, this is where things get... And then he fires 2 phaser 3s at me at range 2. Yeah, he only has 3 phaser 3s that faced me at this moment in time. He rolls a 5 and a 4, so he gives a big whopping 5 points. So he does 5 more points of damage against my front panels, which are starting to get beat up here. Yeah, I had to update that. I forgot to record that earlier. Okay. Now, this is the impulse that things are interesting. He does this. Okay, stop. He does a second het to direction A. So he's facing directly at me. This is his second, number 2, his second het. So he's taking a high chance. If he breaks down game's over. Game's absolutely and totally over. There is no other chances he's got. So it's like, okay. I say, roll it. And he says, yep, drum roll. And he rolls a 2. Yes, he is successful. He actually, the head goes through. He actually was able to successfully hit to face me. Now, it's my turn. I turned all the way back here. So I thought about this for a little bit. And I went, fine. Yeah, this is, okay, for those not watching the video, this shows me looking up plasma torpedoes, specifically what happens if someone bolts a plasma at you at range 0. Because there's one thing I did remember. I did remember from all of my readings many, many years ago. That is that at range 0, launch plasma has a 25% feedback. I remember that. So I went, okay, let's go check. When you bolt, does that feedback still occur? And the answer to that question is yes. This is where we actually had a little discussion here later on. But the question is, how much damage? And I had to look it up and actually had to reread it carefully. And what it says is that at range 0, the feedback damage from bolting is 25% of the warhead strength. Not the damage that you do to your opponent. The warhead strength. In this case, the warhead strength was 50. So approximately a quarter of 50, 25%, is around 12. And that's one thing I also did. I make sure I was not going to be dumb. I was not going to be dumb because I've done this before. I had an opportunity, so I took it, which is to lab that shuttle that he launched. And I discovered, yes, it was a suicide shuttle. So the one thing I definitely did not want to do was something stupid. I did not want to overrun the shuttle because this is what I had. I've done this at Origins. When I was flying against a Black Shark, I saw 2 shuttles. Okay, we'll do 2 shuttles. I ran over the shuttles. Those shuttles were suicide shuttles. And at that point, I died. Because basically did 36 points of damage, which I was not expecting whatsoever. And so now, no, that's a suicide shuttle. That means, fortunately, the suicide shuttle is 1 hex away. So this means I've got to remember to side slip with my next impulse when I move. I have to side slip. So don't overrun the suicide shuttle. So I go, okay, let's fire 4 phaser 2s, 2 TRHs at him. And he bolts a plasma R, and I forget anything else. R bolt. He hits. Actually, yeah, this is where I quoted the rule, which is 25% of the warheads. I realized I read that, and I went, okay, wait a minute. It says explicitly warhead strength. It doesn't say damage to ship. Yes, 12 points of feedback. Right, and he fired 2 phaser 3s and 2 phaser 1s. Phaser 1s were rolled 6s. At range 1, still. So we both agreed that he does a total of 42 points of damage against my ship, which obviously is overall not good. Though I was fortunate in that. Okay, stop. If you notice here, one of my batteries is gone. All of my hull is gone. Cargo's gone. He hit my PA panel. Fortunately, I had enough unused. I got open in my rear panel that my energy release going from my front panel to my rear panel. So like, okay, fine. He destroyed my 2 APRs, destroyed my 2 impulses, destroyed 4 warp and 2 phaser 2s. But my TRHs are still there. And then comes my turn. And my turn, I had to update that. For I need reserve power and we reinforced that back there. Yeah, that's right. And I was explaining to him that the 5 points that were released that were in the panels then get absorbed by the rear panels, because that is the way of the rules say that it goes from the current set of panels to another set of panels. If all the panels are all full, then it goes to batteries. Then I roll 2 TR breaches. Didn't do great. 6 and a 4. 35 points of damage. Now remember, this is a shield, 1 box shield. And then another 21 points of damage from my 4 phaser 2s, which at range 1 is a 5 or a 6. And then, of course, plus 56 plus the feedback being 12. And he wanted to check. And I mentioned to him, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, because it explicitly says warhead strength versus damage to opponent or damage to ship or whatever. So at that point, the total 68 points of damage is done to the ship. And to me, at this moment in time, game's over. Congratulations, that's when good game over. But he wants to continue on. But okay, let's wait for this just a little longer, because right now we're discussing the rule. And Jason had to agree that yep, it looks like 12. And yep, and as I said, the only reason I knew it was 12 is because it explicitly says it. That's warhead strength. So yeah, he's saying looks like I should have launched it at range 1. Sicky, kind of. I'm not sure how you would have done that. Now, we're going back to the game because of when he headed, he ended up at range 1. And then I still have to move, so I'm going to range 0. So we're going right from range 2 to range 0. And if he would have waited, there's a good possibility I would have gotten on a nice down shield. Okay, and boom. And those for you who are watching, now you get to see the results. He's got 18 total warp, total power left. He's got 2 phaser 3s and 1 plasma F as his weapons after all said and done. Me, I got 2 TRHs, I got 4 phaser 2s, I got my Dizzy Dev still, and he still wants to continue on. Because I assumed at this point, after he saw the damage, he would realize, yeah, I'm toast, because his batteries are gone, hull gone. He still has control spots. And even his scanner, 1, 2, 3, he's got a +3 on range because of his scanner. So I'm not exactly sure what you can do at that point. I don't think but he wanted, I'm not a person who's going to force the issue. If he wants to concede, he can concede. Okay, and I run away. He runs away. And that's when he agreed to good games. And that was the end of the game there. Just whatever. I can't see the back. Doesn't matter. I wanted to stop with end the podcast with a view of that hulk of a king eagle, but doesn't look like VLC is actually cooperating at this moment in time. So, right on here. Right, and here. Okay, it was right around. Right. Right. And I should be able to do this. There. That is what I want. How I wanted to end it. Yeah, Android rule. I won this game, and I was quite happy about it. So, for those of you, to me, the thing is, the King Eagle has an uphill battle to begin with against the Andromedan, just because he doesn't have much choice, in my mind, but to bolt. Though, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned last time I did a review of this game, the part 1. But the one thing that I know I mentioned to Barry, which was the one thing that I was terrified of on turn 2, was the King Eagle was going to launch an enveloping R. Because he got me basically in the corner. Now, if he wants the enveloping R, I would be running like hell. And then I'd have to pray that the Dizzy Dev, because the thing is, here's the thing. If that would have been, now, the big issue, of course, here is power. It would have cost him a lot more power, and he might not have been able to move it nearly as far as he did. That being the case, if you would have launched an enveloping R at the end of that turn, and then I come around at turn 5, remember one thing that happened in turn 5, for those, and this review, I actually ran into the plasma. I did. So I took 25. What if it was enveloping? I would have taken 25 in the front, 25 in the rear. I would have been in a really awkward situation if that would have happened. So now, as I mentioned, the big issue there is that it was taking 5 more points of power. Now the question is, that means possibly he wouldn't have moved as nearly as close as he did, because he would have had 5 points of power. That means it was probably 5 less movement. So it would have been farther, in which case it might not have been 25. It might have been 15. But still, that's pretty darn good in my mind. But anyhow, it's pretty late. I need to wrap this thing up. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and those listening to the review of the game. Obviously, if you're listening, I would recommend going to the YouTube video. I'll be posting it. You can go either to sfuoncall.com. I'll post a link there. Also, Twitter. I'll post it as I do every single week. I post up a link to the YouTube video on that, so you can look at it. So I would recommend maybe you want to watch the video and see a little more what happened. I did my best to describe things, but invariably, there's only so much I can do when it comes to that. So, with that, I am Paul Franz, and I bid you a good night.